Alright. Just get this up and running here. Make sure that I can see everybody who is in the group. This is called holding bow. Alright, and then I'm going to flip this around. Let's see if this actually works or not. Alright, well I do see that a bunch of you are in here. Welcome. I need to mute my other... I've got a spy account here. I guess I can see you this time, so I'm just going to go ahead on faith that it will work. And just do it from this one. I recognize a lot of you. Let's see, who do I recognize in this group so far? I do not recognize Nobody's Driving. Welcome to our online session. My very own Taco and Silent P, Grave Nil, X, as we've called you in the past, Nelson Tran, and Quest. So I do recognize all of you. Violin 720, I think you were there for one of the two sessions, if I'm not mistaken. You can let me know if you were or not. We got a pretty good group going here. I'm very excited. Okay, so question for you guys: do you have your violins handy? I will not be able to hear you play, but I think it would still be handy for you to have a violin with you. Good. So, excellent. All right. And by the way, this Justin.tv thing is totally temporary. We're going to build our own tools, so you can actually, I can turn the webcam over to each of you to play for us, if you want to. I'm not going to do it on you. I'm not going to spring it on you. But yeah. Okay. Awesome. So let's get started. So we're going to talk about how you hold your violin and your bow. Okay. So you guys kind of know from my videos how I hold my violin, and some of you have asked me about this. But do you see where I'm putting my chin right now? How many of you hold it this way, where you put your chin on your chin rest like this, and then hold your violin like that? You tell me. And yes, I think this is very cool too, because I can see your comments as we do this. Okay, so many of you, let's see, yup, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of you, 6 of you, maybe 7 of you. So it almost seems like most of you hold it like this. Why is it that you do it that way? Is there a particular reason why? Excuse me, I got allergies. I'm just gonna rub my nose here. Why is it that you hold it at the chin rest? Especially as I play with no shoulder rest, it helps for the violin to stay on well. That is true. So you're able to kind of keep the violin held up easily using that. That way it came naturally. Haha, not sure. I've never really questioned myself about it. That is what I hope these lessons will do. It will help you question why it is that you do it, and either help you to continue to do it or to find a better way. Okay? I see that some of you are doing the little eye thing, which I think means that you are smiling with your eyes. Also helps the left hand in reaching high positions. That's true also if you need to get up to really high positions. Wait, the side of my jaw is on the chin rest. Is that what you're talking about? Yes, that's what I mean, is that your chin and your jaw is right here. Okay, now, we'll get into the alternatives soon. But first of all, has any of you had any problem clenching your jaw when you're holding your violin like this, where you're just like, and then after you finish playing, your chin hurts, or your teeth hurt? Okay, not you, not me. Okay, good. So used to learn not to do it anymore. Okay. When you hold your violin up like this, does your shoulder come up like this too, or either shoulder? Do you end up playing like this at all? Okay, no, no. This is a common problem holding it this way. Those are the two common problems. One is clenching your jaw and one is shoulders. Now clearly, if you guys are not having issues with that, let's not focus on that. Let me go back to me holding it like this. Okay, so I'm actually holding it in the middle of my violin. Now, have any of you ever seen anybody else do that? And if so, who is it that you've seen hold it in the middle of the violin as opposed to over here on the chin rest? And this may take a little bit longer for you guys to type, but let's see what you guys have to say here. Okay, so Sophie Mutter, yes, I think Anne-Sophie Mutter does do it in the middle. Do you know if Anne-Sophie does it with a chin rest move to the middle of the instrument? Let's see. AZ Woogie, hi. I see you're saying hi. I'm a novice, yeah. That's okay. We're just experimenting here, or at least talking about why it is that we hold our violins the way. She has a flesh chin rest in the middle, okay? Ray Chen, okay? So he also puts it in the middle of the violin. Now here's the reason why I don't put a chin rest in the middle, because I probably could. I just don't like the way it looks. I know, it's a little silly, but I just don't like the way it looks, but I do like holding it in the middle, because for me it feels like the violin, for me personally, it feels like the violin is more stable. Yes, I know, this is my benchhand opinionated. I'm very opinionated, okay, well, especially when it comes to the violin. But holding it in the middle, because now I can look straight down the violin as opposed to like at an angle, so I can see everything, and then I feel like my violin is balanced left and right, instead of it feeling like it's always falling. I hope you guys never dropped your violin before. I felt like I might at some points before, especially when I was holding it like this, and I didn't have a good grip with my chin. I had the problem of my neck would always hurt after playing for a long time, because I was like, I don't know, it's just because I was holding it like this. Now my arm felt fine because I'm just kind of moving up and down, but my chin would get really tired. My neck would get really tired. I've tripped with my violin. Oh, that's terrible. My neck gets stiff. Ooh. Let me tell you a story. I don't want you guys to pass this around too much, so you're kind of a privileged audience. I don't tell people this very often, but since we're talking about holding the violin and the bow, let me show you something. So when you hold your violin at rest position, this is how I hold mine. You can see where my bow is though, and I used to hold it, pretty low, and I'd swing it around like this, right? So let me tell you a story. I was walking upstairs with a whole bunch of other people, and I was swinging this along. Now the problem with walking upstairs is that you're at different heights, and so as my bow happened to swing this way, it ended up being on a higher step, and somebody's foot ended up stepping right on the, whoa, there goes my chin rest, or my shoulder rest. Somebody stepped on the top of my bow and snapped it in half. So when you're holding your bow, I don't really recommend that you hold it down like this and swing it around, because your bow can actually get stepped on, especially if you're walking on stairs. That was not, it was a concert day, obviously, or it just very, very conveniently had to be a concert day. So I had to run down to a shop that was built into the place and ask them to borrow a bow. They didn't have any bows for violin, they only had viola bows. So I had to perform concertmaster of an orchestra using a viola bow because my violin bow got stepped on. It was horrible. So don't repeat my mistake. Don't hold your violin or your bow precariously under you, especially when you're just at rest position. Yeah, learn from my mistake. Now, that having been said, when you're holding your violin, when I'm holding my violin, I hold it here, and then I actually use my left arm to hold up the bottom, to support the bottom here. Okay? The reason why I do that is because when I'm able to hold it up like this, first of all, my arm is a stronger muscle. I feel like my arm is a better muscle to use to hold up the violin than my neck. Because a lot of people get neck trouble. They get these like twinges in their neck, versus your arm is pretty strong. So I hold it up like this. It's okay to be late. You're definitely welcome to come anytime. And so when I hold it up like this, now when I shift up, it feels more like I'm just sliding this way, and I let the violin lean into me. Okay, so especially when I'm getting into some piece, I actually hold it up a little bit more, and then let the violin kind of just rest into me. Okay, so when I'm playing really fast stuff, that actually helps a lot, because I'm not really having to supply the weight. The weight goes straight into this part here, and then gets distributed all the way down, because my legs are what hold up my body, and so the legs are what are helping hold up this violin when I do it at an angle. Did you guys catch that? Do you want me to repeat that, or are we good? You guys understand what I'm talking about here? Where it's the gravity that's actually going into my body and being supported by my legs. Okay, yeah, a little good, a little quick, but yes, that's good. Okay, so that's why I do it that way. So if I go, all of that shifting was just with my hand, letting the violin rest against my body, and then all of the gravity goes in. Okay, so and you can jump. That's how you get around very quickly. Let's see, what's a good? So like Lalo symphonies do. Right, so you get that. Oh, and I should also mention, this is not my normal violin. This is a violin that I got from Innova Sound. It's only worth $1,200. So there's no magic going on here. I'm actually using a violin that's pretty student model. Okay, so there's no tricks. I'm not using my nice violin. I'm using just this one. Okay, so any of you can do this with practice, obviously, but not the instrument is not the difficulty here. Okay. Yes, good. So, and I do have a comparison video for that. So, if you want to hear this violin versus my normal violin, then you're certainly welcome to do that. Okay, so let's talk more about holding your bow. Okay, so are you guys familiar with the way that Suzuki does it, where they have you like put your fingers down, and they have this little thing here going? Does this look familiar to you? So you have your first fingers kind of here. These two fingers rest down here near your frog, and yes, the bunny, very good. And then you have your pinky at the bottom. Now, what's wrong with this grip? What would you guys say is wrong with this grip? What is the finger or the part of my hand that is not good? What's wrong with it? Okay, it gives me tension. Anytime I see anybody play this on YouTube or any other video, I always cringe. In fact, that makes my neck sore. It makes my neck much more sore than when I'm playing violin when I see somebody doing this on a video. And it makes my pinky actually cries. If it had a mouth, it would cry out loud. Don't do this. Especially, it's a complete disservice to you as a player to put your pinky straight, and then it also hurts the sound. So it hurts the sound, it hurts your hand, it's just not good. Okay. So anytime that you do it, that you're playing with the bow, make sure that your pinky is round. Okay. Now here's something that I don't know if any of you have ever heard of before. It's called, or rather, when I was taught this method, it was called the Russian technique. Okay. So I'm just going to adjust my bow grip a little bit. Okay. And you tell me if you can tell what it is I'm doing. So here's my normal bow grip, and here's the Russian one. So what did I just do? What's the difference? Here's my normal one, and here's the Russian one. What did I just do? Oh, whoops, and my monitor just went blank, so I got to remember to move my mouse. Okay? Feels right for me, so it's tilted, yeah. So I'm actually leaning my first finger in, and then my pinky is almost not even touching the bow. So yes, that is absolutely correct. So if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, the first knuckle is where the first finger contacts in the Suzuki hold, and then for the Russian hold, it actually is the second knuckle. Okay, and so do you guys know anybody who plays using this hand grip, where they actually put the second knuckle down? And do you know why it is that they do it? Because I've heard some theories. I've actually heard theories from the people who do it. If you guys are familiar with Igor and Vesna Grupman, they're pretty well known in certain circles. They were, yeah. Okay. So this is more Franco-Belgian. If we want to get down to the naming scheme for nationality. So Franco-Belgian is this one, and Russian is this one. Yes, that is true. So especially when you have the tip, you get more power if you're doing this bow grip than if you're doing this bow grip. Okay. Now, when you're at the frog, though, then you run into some trouble. Then if you just rely on that second knuckle, it's just too much weight. There's too much going on there. So if you go with the Franco-Belgian, then you have your pinky to help balance it out here, and you get a nice clear sound. Okay. So isn't that interesting that one of them is stronger at the tip, and one of them is better at the frog? So what would happen if you tried to mix the two, so that when you're playing down here, you switch to Franco-Belgian, and when you're playing up down here, you switch to Russian? And that's actually what I do. That's how I play. I actually switch it. Let's see. It's in the camera. Okay? So when I'm down here, I actually switch to Russian. When I'm up here, I switch to Belgian. Okay? I don't know if you've ever heard anybody doing that before, but that's what I do, because I learned both techniques, and I guess you could say I cheat a little bit, because I am agreeing with both camps. I'm kind of standing in the middle on the fence, but I'm using them to where I think it's the most advantageous. Okay. Now another thing that I like to do with my bow hold. The German hold. Can you explain to me what that one is, my very own Taco? Because I don't actually know what that is. I might have heard it before. I might know a little bit about it, but I don't actually really know what that is. What's the difference? I don't know, lol. Okay. If anybody else knows any other bow holds or anything like that, let me know. Just go ahead and chat it into the window, and I'll let you know. Carl Flesch speaks about it. Interesting. Okay. So actually, the German grip may not be violin. It actually may be a different instrument, because it's true. The cellists, they hold it. I've seen bassists. Sorry, the bassists, they hold it kind of like a weird, it's because it's sideways, right? Cellists are a little bit sideways too, right? So it has to be a little bit different of a bow hold than what we do on violin. You know, that's interesting though. I think maybe after this video I'll go look it up and see what the German hold is, because now you got me curious. Because maybe in the middle the German hold is the best. I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you though that between this bottom here and the middle is usually where I'd use my Franco-Belgian. Then when I go up here, then I use Russian. Especially if you have the up bow staccato. You want to be able to do it. The Russian grip is really good for that because you get pressure. And I know maybe you guys aren't there yet on technique to get the up bow staccato. But if you are hoping to learn it sometime soon, that's where you get that. The second knuckle being on the top gives you more pressure, gives you a better ability to dig into the string. Okay, let me just take a quick look, make sure that I'm watching your chat here. Viola to violin. When playing at the frog, do you put more weight on the pinky? Excellent question. Yes, that's right. With up bow staccato, Russian is good. Yeah, when playing at the frog, do you put more weight on the pinky? Sort of. I know. I know. I hate it when people are like, "Well, it's not exactly that way," but unfortunately, that is the case here. So let me show you what I do, though. So this is where the arm comes in big time. So when I play, instead of trying to manipulate anything with my hand, which is common for Suzuki, where you have to, like at the bottom, you have to do like the little, it's maybe the circle or the strawberry, I don't know what you call it, that motion, and you're supposed to do it like with your fingers. Now I don't. I actually let my fingers just sit on the bow, and I do this thing where it's like dead weight from my arm. So with this angle right here, with my arm high enough, right, not ridiculously high like this, plus there might be some BO going on, but if you just hold it like this and just relax, then you get a really good grip, right? So if I move my violin around, you can't hear anything because my bow is right there, full arm weight, just sitting on there. Now, when I move it back and forth, my fingers don't really have to do anything. I'm just letting the natural gravity make the sound. Okay, now if I don't want as much weight on it, then I do a little bit of counterbalancing between these two fingers, including the pinky. So I put a little bit of pressure on the pinky, meaning that I tilt my hand or my arm down a little bit. And that's how you can get a nice sound at the frog. Same thing at the tip, but because you need more weight, and my arm, I don't want to do this with my arm, then I switch and put more weight into using my second knuckle here. And then the weight goes into my second knuckle, it goes into my bow. Now here's my same thing again. Okay, so down here it's more pinky, and up here it's more second knuckle. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Sort of. What it feels not being David Garrett. How does it feel not being David Garrett? Fine. It feels like I'm me and he's him. That's okay. Same thing goes with any other musician, any other famous violinist. I'm fine with it. I will admit that there are many violinists that are better than me. It's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm always looking to learn something new. So hopefully that's the same attitude you have, is that somebody who's better than you probably has something to offer you. So you should probably listen to them in that case. And so anytime that I go and watch a concert or talk with someone, for the YouTube Symphony, we got to work with Gil Shaham. That was really cool because in the rehearsal, he would just say, "Oh, you know, we should probably play like this." We go, or we say, "Well, you know, maybe we should just do it like this." So I watched very attentively to see what he had to say. Okay, Flesh says, the older German bow hold, the index finger presses onto the stick with its underside, approximately at the joint nearest the fingertip. Okay, yep, so this one. The position of the other fingers is determined by this, and the thumb lies across. Oh, okay, so it's like this, basically. Is that right? So it's more of a knuckle here? Interesting. And yes, please share this with everybody. You can share it however you want. If you want to embed this into another site, that's fine with me. I'm mostly just interested in getting the word out to everybody that we're doing this. I can't get my pinky to curve. So if you're holding your hand like this is a little thing that they do with beginners, is they go like this, and then they ask you to bend your knuckle, like that. Can you do that? Can you at least bend each of your knuckles like this? You should be able to. And in some cases, if you're double jointed, like I'm a little bit double jointed, I can do this too, where it's just partially, like the top knuckle is the one that's going down. But if you can do this at least by itself, if you can't do this, then there's maybe a problem. But it can't be something that you can't do. So like if you should be able to do it with the other finger and pull it down like that. Can you do that at least? Like you can pull it down? Otherwise, there may be some bigger issues at hand here. But yeah, so just practice the motion of getting it to round. And that is, for any of you, and even for me, it's a good exercise just to remember what it feels like for your pinky to round, so that when you do get your violin up, that your pinky remembers what that felt like and will stay like this. Okay? All right, very good. So let's go back to bigger issues at hand. Nice. Okay, when I play, my hand is really tense while I hold the bow. Yeah. So, if your hand is tense, that usually means that you're trying to grip it too hard. So what I would suggest is start off gripping it and then just very, very slowly relax everything. Relax, relax, and watch what your hand does. Okay, so watch my hand. This is what my hand does. So I'm gripping it, I start to relax, Do you see how my arm just kind of naturally assumes the weight that my fingers were taking on before? So it's not a matter of just relaxing, it's a matter of redistributing the weight. So if the weight were being held like this, you got to figure out something else that can hold it. And in my case, it's the arm that holds it. Now my fingers are really, really relaxed. You see how they're flexible and they move around like this? And my arm has moved up so that the angle is now holding up the bow for me. Okay? So see how that goes. Okay? My pinky rounds perfectly. I cannot bend it down straight. Ah, that's interesting. You probably don't have a problem then on your right hand, because you really never want your pinky to be straight on this side. See, I feel like I'll drop the bow when I curve my pinky. In that case, try experimenting with your arm angle, and get your arm up higher, and just see if that helps, because then the bow ends up resting more against your first finger, and then you're able to hold it a little bit better. The wheels on the bus go round and round, okay? I'm assuming that's not really related, but that's kind of funny. My teacher always says that my hand is too loose, though this weight distribution talks really helps. I hope so. Sorry, I just lost you again. I gotta turn my screensaver off. No, I don't have a problem. Okay. You don't, it's true. So you're very lucky if you can't get it to bend, because that means that you'll never be in danger of that issue. Let me show you what happens when you're bending it. I know this is gonna make you cringe. So you can hear a little tension in my sound, whereas if I just round it off, right? So that makes it a lot nicer, a lot smoother. Right? Okay. Yeah. Well, again, it's just a normal violin, so it's nothing special. But okay, let's see. You tell me then at this point, since we only have maybe five or so minutes to go, 7 minutes. What else would you like to talk about? Would you like me to demonstrate anything? I mean, what is it that you want to see now that we've had this chat about the different bow holds, different ways to hold the violin? What do you want? Do I plan on getting a better camera? I am going to get a better setup. We are also going to stream this differently than Justin.tv, because I think that they lower the bitrate big time. So it should look either better or at least comparable. I do need some more lighting and some stuff. And then as far as the mic is concerned, Justin.tv also really makes a low bit rate, so we'll see how high we can make ours so that it sounds better. That's a very good observation, because I want it to sound as close to the real thing as possible. So we'll work on that technology-wise to make it sound as good as it can. Play something cool, plucking in Suzuki, right and left hand coordination. That's a good one. I think that's maybe for another lesson to have these two be coordinated. Then someone mentioned something about no shoulder rest. Interesting. Didn't they have a bow that had two frogs? Possibly. Better mic would be great. How do you bow hold change when plucking? Ah, that's a good one too. So we'll do shoulder rest, and we'll do plucking. Play the Brahms piece where it sounds like an epic sword fight. Does your thumb curve as well? Yes, it does. You definitely need your thumb to curve when you're playing like this. It's just to allow the flexibility and for all the sound, so that it doesn't constrict the bow. Anything that constricts the bow's motion, including these being locked, will cause it to sound like that. So you want it to sound flexible, meaning that these have to be flexible. Let's see. Yeah, sautier, that's a good one too. We could probably put that into another lesson. Restless playing, yeah. Where do you find the sheet music for the arrangement of Come Thou Fount to be played? Oh, that's a good one. A good question. That's one that's out of print. We have never actually released that one, but it isn't our arrangement, so we can't actually share that one because it is copyrighted. Sorry about that. Play any song, David Garrett. Left hand position with thumb and forefinger. Okay, so let's start with this. So you have no chin rest, right? Now you see how long my neck is. It's probably not like the longest neck you've ever seen, but I do tend to think that I have a pretty long neck. Now, my teacher said that everybody should be able to play without a shoulder rest, and I actually tend to find that it's hard for me to do it because if I want to hold the violin down like this, the only way is either to raise my shoulder, which is a bad idea, or to put my neck down, which is also a bad idea. So I just don't have, like, my neck is just too long. Some of you don't have very much of a neck, which is fine, and actually it works better for you because then you can hold this like that without having to raise your shoulder or put your head down. So I actually choose not to do that. I actually go and do this. Now, good observation, you can either put a shoulder rest on, which is what I do, which does dampen the sound a little bit, but hopefully not too much. This is a Kuhn, K-U-N, shoulder rest, so you can get one of these. I think this one ran me about 30 bucks. You can get it on Amazon, a lot of places. And that just raises it up so that it's easier for me. Someone mentioned doing a chin rest, raising this chin rest. Now for me, it's kind of moot because I don't even use it, like I put my violin over here. But for those of you who do use your chin rest, it's okay to put a higher chin rest as well. Might look a little funny in my opinion, but you know, it's more about the sound is what's important. Okay. If the violin is supposed to rest on the collarbone, how does a shoulder rest add height? It's an excellent question. So if you see here, the reason why it adds height is because even if you're doing it here in the shoulder, the collarbone to my chin, for me, is higher of a distance than some of you. So for me, I find that even when it's resting here, I still have to put my head down to reach it. Whereas if I put this shoulder rest on, now I can do it without having to reach anywhere. It's just right there. Okay. How do you put your shoulder rest on? I do it like this. So it's a good demonstration. So that you don't break your violin, I put this down first on the top. Let's see, top here. Okay, and then I slide it over. Don't try to put it on verbatim. Just slide it over like this. Slide it. Then you're good. Okay. Hopefully that helps. All right. So what was the other thing that we were going to talk? Oh yeah, plucking. So when I pluck, so this plucking is this action here. I try, if it's just a quick pluck, I just try to extend my first finger out, make it rigid, and then I just kind of push it down on the string and then pull away. Right? And try not to hit the other strings. So I actually, you need to pull it up rather than out. But I start my finger pushing down on the string, then pull it. Okay? It's not an action of like trying to pick at it like a. You have to start with it down and then pull it out like that. Okay? Again, we could have another lesson on plucking if we wanted to. Sorry, I gotta go. Okay, well thanks for coming. We are going to end in about 2 or 3 minutes. Electric or acoustic? I like electric. I've actually tried it before because all you do is you just do this as fast as you want and it comes out sounding really nice, which is not which is not ideal. Maybe talk too fast? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can slow down a little bit if we need to. But yes, that is true. Okay, so yes, it is. Hopefully this is more effective. All right. Somebody requested that sword fight song. So if I'm going to play this and I'm going to play it nice and relaxed, even though it sounds really like loud and crazy. Now, with the chords, you don't want to push, right? So if you push down, you lose the sound. So if you want it to sound more open, it's kind of counterintuitive, but the less you press, the better it sounds. Like that, okay? And I'm not pushing down on anything, I'm just letting my arm do most of the work. So that's how all that works. See, what's another good one to demonstrate? Well, there's the Bach. That Bach. Have you seen my video where it's the best video editing ever, where it's actually just me playing really fast? It's let's see. It's a string crossing where it's kind of like this, slowly. So you can only do this if your hands is relaxed and if you're doing it with your arm right here. See? Okay? So that's why I'm doing it. It's because everything is relaxed, doesn't bother me at all. The violin is resting into me, and my arm is just right here, and just moving like this, right? It's just like this. Okay? Is thunderstruck difficult? I'm not sure what thunderstruck is. Is that a David Garrett thing? I'm not totally sure what that is. Can we go over violin vocabulary in a future lesson? Definitely. We could definitely do that. To avoid E string whistle, make sure not to be